Well, hello everybody. This is Susan Burns. I am here tonight with Brian Randolph. You may be familiar with us. We do the Georgia Prison Watch podcast each week. I am the founder of They Have No Voice, and Brian is the founder of the Human and Civil Rights Coalition of Georgia. Together, we have a total reach of close to 50,000 people, and I hope every single one is listening tonight. So, if you would, I hope that you will share this podcast, and then share it again. So, Brian, what do you have for us tonight?
Yeah, definitely like and share. Please like and share. We are approaching history in just 5 days. Is it 5 days?
Yeah.
Yep. So we are um, approaching history in 5 days. In the 4 years in existence for the Human and Civil Rights Coalition of Georgia, we actually are or have been planning our first rally in protest, and it is now time to get out there and do the work. So, as Susan said, please like and share this. Please like and share. That is going to be very, very important. What we're going to get into tonight, uh, you'll see why we ask you to like and share, because, we're going to jump into something shortly that's going to be a perspective and a prerogative that um, the Georgia Department of Corrections is trying to put out there. So, if you want the truth and you want people to know the truth about what we do, then please like and share, like and share. Susan, I don't know where we're going from now.
Oh, well, I do. Um, I think that we should have a retrospective of what happened this past weekend. Um, this past weekend, well, we had some teasers during the week last week, but on Sunday, this was a really unusual Atlanta Journal Constitution. It's the first time in all the years I've lived here that I have seen the AJC from top to bottom, from right to left, not just page one, but three or four additional full pages. And all of the coverage was about the Georgia Department of Corrections, and it bore out what some of you call the Georgia Department of Corruption. Um, they gave chapter and verse uh, about 425 uh, people who had been fired as a result of corruption in their jobs, um, as employees and staff of the Georgia Department of Correction. 425, and that was since 2018. Some of the stories that they told in that were stunning. One woman had said she had been there 18 months, and she was asked, as she was being arrested, how long she'd been doing it, and she said, well, from the first day. And they were bringing in, um, I'm not going to give anybody any hints for how to make money, but they were bringing in cans of tobacco and selling them for selling them for $500 each. That was what she had been bringing in. But there were all sorts of other things in the stories that were told in there. They had many people who were allowed to actually resign in lieu of being arrested. Now, that wouldn't happen to you or me or any of us. We would be arrested and taken to the local pokey where we'd be processed and no longer have clean records. So that was, it's kind of eye opening. I think we all expected that, but golly, the AJC's coverage bore it out. In addition, there were there was at least one full story also embedded in that, and that was the death of a young woman named Jessica Gurley. So if you have not read the AJC from this past Sunday, quite a read indeed.
Yeah, and if you want to hear our perspective on it, then you can actually listen to last week's podcast. I think it's up on YouTube, or you can just scroll down the page on Facebook, and you can rewatch that if you didn't catch it. And also, I think I uploaded it on the podcast center, so it should be available on all of your podcast subscription services. I know Apple has a podcast thing where you can download podcasts. So just type in Georgia Prison Watch on your phone, search it, just type in Georgia Prison Watch, and that should come up. But Susan mentioned that. And then, what we're going to jump into tonight, and I'm going to play this this video for you. It's going to be about a little over 2 minutes. But Susan mentioned that, and I guess Tyrone Oliver.
Yes, the AJC interviewed him for 90 minutes, and as I was looking back in the past for other interviews, I was able to find a WSB interview from back in February, I believe. And golly.
Yeah. So I hit the mute button, and I apologize.
Oh,
I don't know how I hit that. But anyway, so, I guess, as I was saying, I guess Tyrone Oliver, after that those damaging articles came out last week, he did a interview just a couple of days ago, I think at the beginning of the week. And I want to play this, and I think it's just over a little bit over 2 minutes, and I didn't get it to blow up really big. So you're just going to have to kind of squeeze your eyes to see it, but you can definitely hear it. So I want to play this interview that Tyrone Oliver did with WSB TV earlier this week. And I guess he decided that he wanted to sit down and do this interview after those articles came out. And, we're going to come back on the other end of this video. And we're going to talk about this because it's some stuff that needs to be mentioned. But I want you to pay close attention to what wasn't said in this video, and also what was said in the perception that they're trying to give the public. And we're gonna come back, as I said, on the other end, and we're gonna talk about it because I thought it was some horrible journalism that was done. It was almost a press conference covered by this journalist, and it was just a complete and utter joke, in my opinion, on exactly what he said, and no pushback whatsoever from the journalist that did this. So let's play this video, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss it.
Tolerance for corruption. I'll stand on that Capitol stairs. I'll stand anywhere to let people know that we're not going to put up with it.
The new corrections commissioner says corruption.
Whether you're a CO1, your contract employee, unit manager, warden, It doesn't matter. I'm not going to tolerate it.
Combines with contraband, weapons, drugs, illegal cell phones, and more.
If we can reduce the number of contraband coming in, we can reduce the violence.
And combines with gangs.
So gangs drive a lot of our issues that we're seeing within our prison system.
And prison violence.
They're coming in younger, and they're going to stay with us a lot longer, and they're becoming more violent.
To paint the picture of what's been happening in Georgia's prisons that he's determined to change since Governor Kemp appointed him to lead the Georgia Department of Corrections in late December.
What I got from the governor is, number one, hold the offenders accountable, do the right thing, and I'm going to use every tool and resource at my disposal to make sure that we're operating safe, secure facilities, and we're going to have zero tolerance on gang activity.
Warren documents dated February 3rd suggest Larissa White allegedly accepted more than $7,000 through Cash App from an inmate at the Riverbend Correctional Facility in return for organizing other employees to introduce contraband into Riverbend. The commissioner says Larissa White was a mid-level manager at Riverbend Correctional and Rehabilitation Facility, a private prison run by the GEO Group, but which gets state inmates from GDC. A GEO Group statement, while not naming Ms. White, says an arrest was made thanks to due diligence by another GEO staff member who informed facility leadership of suspected activity.
From my understanding, she's a private prison. She's not a GDC or state employee.
Commissioner Tyrone Oliver shared GDC data he says shows 27 prison homicides, the blue column, in fiscal year 2022, and 21 just roughly halfway through fiscal year 2023. Inmate-on-inmate assaults averaging 56 a month in fiscal year 22, 80 a month so far in fiscal year 23, which started last July.
Regardless of what kind of rules we put in place, what kind of systems we put in place, they are playing by a different set of rules.
But cell phone seizures at 4,134 so far in fiscal year 23, on a pace to far exceed 5,604 from the previous fiscal year. Same with the 9,502 weapons found so far in FY23 compared to 11,724 for all of FY22. He says officers are doing more shakedowns. This video is from a 2016 story we did.
I plan on increasing that in the upcoming months.
The commissioner says GDC arrests of staff are slowing, 22 in fiscal year 2023 compared to 72 for the previous fiscal year. And in both years, the number of civilian arrests dwarfs staff arrests. Commissioner Oliver says the vast majority of GDC officers are honest, hardworking, and dedicated.
Susan?
That video was actually from January 19th of 2023.
No. This video was September the 23rd.
Okay.
Yes, this was this week, or at the beginning of this week. He sat down and did this interview with the AJC with Mark Winnie of WSB TV after the AJC articles came out last weekend.
Okay, well,
so what a load of BS.
yeah.
What a load of BS. And then for Mark Winnie to be a world-renowned journalist who is respected in the state and around Atlanta, for him to just get on, for him to allow Tyrone Oliver to come on there and not even fact check, not even just, he took their numbers that they provided to him and put in this and put on there. I thought it was pathetic. I thought it was a completely pathetic that, and what the biggest thing that I took from that is that it's all more about the contraband. It's not about human life. It's not about the inhumane treatment that they receive every day. It's all about stopping contraband. And we kind of see that from the 911 calls that we hear, where they're too busy looking up in the sky for a drone that they're not inside of these buildings and monitoring the people under their care. I thought that this was completely terrible and astonishing, and that's why I said at the beginning of this is that it's very important that you share and that you like this information that we put out, because this stuff is the true and the real deal. They're selling, I don't even know what they're selling, but you know, this, what we put out is what really goes on in these facilities. And it's not this, you know, cakewalk that they were trying to portray in that news piece.
No, Mark Winnie did not come back with any question, but what about but what about all the people dying? But what about the suicides? I looked back and I saw that in calendar year 2017, there were 4 inmate homicides. 4. We are going to have over 40 this year.
Well, look at this, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I think this is important. So even in this misguided news news crap that he put out, even Mark Winnie went along with their deaths are going to be lower than last year or whatever he said. But you got to think about it. The physical year for you guys that's watching that doesn't know, the physical year is from July to July of whatever year. So it'd be from July 2022 to July of 2023. All right, so we still have 8 months to go in this physical year. There's already been 21 deaths as of Monday when that was played. So there's already been 21 deaths. That's 21 homicides. It's already been 21 of them, and we still have 8 months to go in this physical year. So you can't tell me with a straight face that number is not going to be higher than last year. And we still got 8 months to go, and we're still having all of these murders per week inside the Department of Corrections. So that in itself right there is completely, totally misguided.
Well, and we just saw the numbers from August, and those numbers, 25 total. Please.
Yeah.
No, we'll get some revised numbers yet out of that.
Yeah, and it's like I said, you know, that complete utter that entire interview, and they used Mark Winnie, I believe. I'll just go ahead and say it. They used Mark Winnie for that interview to be a photo op and a video op, because if you look at on your screen right here, this was that same interview, Tyrone Oliver and his staff walking down the hallway. You know, for them to appear that they have everything under control, and that, you know, they're just, it was ridiculous. I mean, it was a complete and utter BS. I'm trying not to cuss.
Yeah. Well, what you see there is 4 suits.
Yeah. That's been in the department. Those 3 or 4 that's behind him is a part of the problem, because they've been there 20, 25 years, and we're still seeing the carnage and the BS that we see for the last 20 years or 25 years that they've been there. So it was all just a complete and utter photo op. I mean, that's exactly what it was. Go ahead, Susan.
Well, we're seeing terrible things. But what we're hearing from them is it's all about the contraband. The contraband isn't the problem. They are so excited between drones and cell phones. Those drones and cell phones do not kill people. Now those knives do, but they don't even mention them anymore. They aren't about shanks and knives. They're about the cell phones, as if going after the cell phones is going to change anything. The, they the company line from GDC is that cell phones are doing this, and more than anything, they've got to find a way to stop those cell phones.
Well, I mean, we know why they don't want the cell phones is because it uncovers their corruption.
Well, I counted up how many videos I've received. It's over 1,600. So I could see why they don't want the cell phones. They aren't interested in what's being said. They're interested in what's being recorded.
Yes.
And what you never see in those videos, officers.
Yep. Yep. And then, to go even further in this about this interview with Tyrone Oliver, Mark Winnie didn't even address the staff shortages.
No.
Didn't even go into more in depth on gang violence. Who Tyrone Oliver, surprisingly enough, agreed, and he pretty much he elaborated what we said. What we've been saying on this podcast is that these prisons are being ran by gangs. I mean, that was it within the first 10 seconds of his interview, that these places are being ran by gangs, that they have a major gang problem. I mean, the commissioner said this out of his own mouth, and I would almost believe that he's been listening to the Georgia Prison Watch, because he said exactly what we said and what we've been telling the public. He finally came out and said it himself.
Well, he did go on and say something else that is a truth bomb, and that is, he didn't put this part in there. Thanks to Governor Kemp's the things that he has pushed for and gotten, the gang members who are going to prison are going younger, and they're going with longer sentences. As long as you pack these prisons full, at some point you are going to need, what do you know, a mega prison that'll hold 3,000 people. Of course, they won't have any staff, but a mega prison.
Yeah, that's a hell of a bright idea. You can't even staff the prisons that you have now, and yet you're going to build a 3,000 bed facility, which I think they've already started clearing the land off for, from what I was told. You're going to build a 3,000 bed facility, and you can't even control what you have.
Well, that's in Washington County, and they already have a prison there that there's been no mention of closing that one. And it incidentally is just as short of staff as any of the other prisons are.
Right.
So I don't know where you're going to miraculously come up with somewhere in the range of 300 to 500 people to work there.
Well, they're not.
No.
This staff shortage runs deep, runs really, really deep. And as we said a couple months ago on this podcast, is that you're just not going to get anybody to work in the prison system. You're not going to do it. And these prisons are in the rural parts of Georgia, where nobody's going to be living in the rural parts of Georgia. I mean, just think about it. Who the hell is going to move to Washington County to work in a prison? Nobody. I answered my own question. Their priorities are completely wrong, and it starts at the top with a lack of leadership, and it starts at Brian Kemp. He's making the decisions to build this facility. Is another reason why you should do whatever you can possible to meet us Tuesday, because we're going to be there, because this is ridiculous. How are you going to build a 3,000 bed facility and you can't even staff an 800 bed facility?
That's right.
I mean, make it make sense to me, because I don't understand it. So,
Well, the AJC article pointed out that in July, Georgia Department of Corrections held 126, I believe, job fairs. They went to and had a table at 126 job fairs, and yet they only got 130 thereabouts, 132 maybe
I
job
thought it was
applicants
I
out
thought it
of
was
that.
100. I thought it was 100 and something. It was just over 100 that they hired.
But they only had about 132 applicants.
Yeah.
So when they have these job fairs, and if you can judge from the photographs that they have on their Facebook page, they have 3 and 4 members of the staff who are at the job fairs. Their time would be better spent, I would think. 3 or 4 of them, 125. This is 1,000 man days instead of, why aren't they in the prisons actually being, well, guards, doing, guaranteeing that they have safe and secure facilities. There's nothing safe or secure about them.
Well, and that's their motto now. It sounds like is safe and secure facilities. They operate safe and secure facilities, and we are not to believe our lying eyes when we see all of the chaos and all of the violence and all of the stabbings going on every day. And someone made a very good a comment in the comments that I was reading while you were talking. And it just said, we just see a limited amount of violence in these videos. We don't even see the stuff that goes on every day.
No.
We don't see the videos that take place at Macon State, that they go on lockdown every other day. There's a lot of stuff that we just don't see. And, that was actually a very, very good comment, because it's true. They have gone after cell phones. They've made it a mission to go after cell phones so hard so that we don't see this stuff, that, we're not seeing it as much now as we have in the previous few months. So, I mean, this is real. And, what I took real offense at, Susan, was the fact that they just made it seem like we're going after contraband, we're going after all of this stuff, and we're trying to, we're running safe and secure facilities. Nonsense.
When tobacco is contraband, and it is, and they count that a bundle, whatever a bundle is, they'll have hundreds of bundles, but then when they add it up, it's mainly tobacco. Of course they get some meth, of course they get some strips, of course they get some small amount of weed, but mainly it's tobacco, and mainly it's cell phones. And the reason for the cell phones is to keep you and me and everyone who's listening from seeing what really happens. And as you said, we only see a slice of what really happens.
Yeah. And then, continuing on in this, and I hope my audio is good, but, continuing on with this hit and miss piece that Mark Winning did, he didn't even ask about the inhumane treatment that we see in these videos. We posted a video just this past weekend of a guy that was, looked to be having a seizure in the video.
Yes.
And received not a single piece of medical attention until the following day after we released the video. And guess what? Lo and behold, they went in that night, did not give him any medical attention whatsoever. But you want to take a guess what they did go in and do after we posted that video?
My guess would be they shook him down looking for a cell phone.
So he didn't even address this inhumane treatment that we see every day and in these videos, or the inadequate medical care, the inadequate food. He didn't address all this. He went in there and let the GDC put their prerogative and put their what they're trying to provide to the public, that they run safe and secure facilities.
Well, they probably are not aware. Well, they will be after this. The person we know as THND nurse,
Yeah.
she's a 15-year neurological ICU nurse, and she knows a thing or two about seizures, and she had no doubt that was a seizure, and even knew the type of seizure that he was having. And that's as the information has come out about that, his family has shared that he was fine until he was stabbed in the head, and then his seizures began. And while he's not having seizures every day, he's having several a week. So we've got on the screen right now.
That last.
Okay.
We'll go back to that, Amanda.
Yeah.
So you have to stay tuned into the end, because we have an update on that.
Yes.
But as we continue about the video or the interview that Tyrone Oliver did, something else that struck me as interesting in something that he said. He actually acknowledged that that Governor Kemp now is his boss. I mean, he brought that out himself. And
Yes.
the quote that he said in the video is that Governor Kemp told him to hold offenders accountable. Which means what? You can't hold offenders accountable when the people that's over them and supposed to hold them accountable is corrupt to the core. First you need to. How about you start treating and holding the staff accountable for the stuff that they do. Holding somebody accountable is, I would say, when they're bringing in pounds and pounds of dope and being El Chapo, that they're held accountable, and that means pressing charges on them and seeing it all the way through. Start holding your corrupt staff accountable before you want to hold the people that's in your care accountable.
Absolutely.
I mean, some of them have so much nasty attitudes. They don't have a care in the world. I'm about to play something, and I want everybody to listen to this, because I'm going to play something, and I want you to just listen to this lady's attitude on this 911 call. And this 911 call actually received today. Did an open records request a couple of weeks ago and actually received this 911 call. But I want you to see the type of people that they're hiring at these hiring events. When you talk about holding people accountable, first you got to start holding this corrupt and rogue staff accountable. And I've said it plenty of times, all of them aren't bad. But you need to start weaving out the ones that are bad and get them out of there if you want to start holding the inmates that's in your care accountable. So I want you to listen to this lady's attitude and her lack of caring in this 911 call. And then, Susan, we're going to come back and we're going to give it to you.
Okay.
Judson Hancock County 911, where's your emergency?
Can I get an ambulance to Hancock State Prison?
Okay, what's going on?
We have 95. I guess he been stabbed up, so they're telling me to call an ambulance.
Do you know how old it is?
I'm on the phone with 911, ma'am.
Do you know how old the guy is?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, we have help on the way.
Okay.
Let me transfer you over to Grady. Okay. What city and county are you calling from?
Hancock State Prison. Hello?
What's the address?
701 Prison Boulevard.
Okay, and what's the callback number?
706-444-1000.
Okay, and what's going on here?
Inmate's been stabbed.
Okay,
I don't know how
many.
many.
Now?
I just know we need an ambulance.
Okay, are you with the patient now?
No, no, ma'am, I'm not.
Okay, we're getting someone started out there. How old is the patient?
Ma'am,
How old is the patient?
I don't know. I'm in central control. I don't know. They just told me to call an ambulance.
Okay, we're getting somebody started out there. Is he awake?
Okay, thank you. Hello? Someone's on the way?
We have someone being sent out there. Is he awake?
I don't know, ma'am. I'm not there.
That's fine. You can say you don't know to the question. Is he breathing?
I don't know, ma'am. Hold on, ma'am. Can't I say prison? Hold on. Ma'am, I'm not down there. I'm just in the central control.
That's fine. You can answer you don't know to the questions. When did this happen?
Right now, 9:22.
Is the assailant still nearby?
Huh?
Is the assailant still nearby, the person that stabbed him?
No.
Okay. Is there any serious bleeding?
Yes.
Is he responding normally?
Ma'am, I don't know.
And what part of the body was injured?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm sending the paramedics to help him now. Stay on the line and I'll tell you exactly what to do next. Reassure them that help is on the way. And if you get more information or if anything changes, please notify us.
You want me to stay on the line?
Well, we can disconnect now.
Okay.
And then slam the damn phone.
She doesn't know anything, does she?
Well, you got a damn radio. What happened to picking up the radio and saying and asking the questions so it can aid? Let me cut this off. I'm sorry.
Hancock County 911, where's your emergency?
Okay, so yeah, what about picking up the radio and getting the information? But she had the nastiest attitude. I mean, did you hear her? Oh, I don't know. I mean, what is that?
Where is their training that would make her ask? Because she's going to make a phone call. She's going to need to know this. How old is he? Where is he stabbed? All that is going to come up every single time.
But but Governor Kemp told Tyrone Oliver to hold the offenders accountable. But yet, this is the same nasty attitude that we hear on these 911 calls. Is when these loved ones and family members call to these facilities. That's the same type of attitude they get. But yet but even more, they get hung up on.
Yeah.
They get talked to like they're the scum of the earth. But so I played that because that's the type of people that they have working in these places, and that's just the reality of it. And to say we're going to hold the offenders accountable. But you need to start holding the staff accountable and truly holding the staff accountable, not just holding the staff accountable for your 3-minute interview on the evening news. I mean, it's sickening, actually.
Well, this is, as long as I've been involved in corrections advocacy, I've heard about people being hung up on, people being that smart attitude, I guess is really what it is, that, snippy. I mean, people are calling because they care about their loved ones, and they're getting a smackdown 9 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, so as I said, you need to, instead of trying to get every cell phone that you can get out of there, you need to retrain your staff. And I surely hope the 100 that you hired last month, which they probably won't be in the department very long, and half of them will be busted as corrupt in probably 3 to 6 months anyway. And half of them are going to quit once they get in there and see that they have to work 5 dorms all day by themselves. They'll quit anyway. But you need to train your staff on how to recognize mental health issues, how to treat people humanely, and how to talk to people. I mean, you want the people in your care to act right, yet you don't hire people that's going to act right. They go in there, they don't care. So
that how they treat people on the phone starts at the top of that facility. That whoever the warden is, that's his or her responsibility. If we're not going to do anything else, we're going to treat our stakeholders with respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see Cindy. Retrain, how about actually train?
Yeah.
Anytime you anything, you are having to spend money again. Retrain, redo, recover, anything is because you didn't do a good enough job to start with, or you didn't do a good job in your hiring practices.
Yeah, and Cindy is 100% right. How about training them? Not just running them through. I don't even know how long this basic training is now. But how about actually training them the right way instead of just putting them in a 6 weeks course and then putting them behind the wall? That's ridiculous. But they need them so bad that they're cutting corners, left and right to get people in these places. And let me just say this, because I know, Susan, that every staff member is not bad. Every officer is not bad. There are officers that are in there that actually care, that actually will do something. There's nurses in there that actually care, and and there's some maybe some deputy wardens and wardens that actually care. But I always say it. When people say, "Well, every cop is not bad," well, why does the good cops stand back and let the bad cops do all of this foolishness and nonsense? Where's the good cops at when bad cops and bad staff are doing wrong?
Well, if you recall, a few weeks ago, we had a video of, I think we had the video of this woman who was saying, she was going to go to the prison, whatever it was that had happened, and she had every reason to believe it was her loved one who was involved. She gets to the prison, and there's 5 vehicles in the parking lot. One is hers, and the other 4 vehicles belong to the 4 officers that are standing out in the parking lot.
That was at Macon State. That's right. It was her And then he had 4 officers. One of them was a lieutenant because you could see his little symbol or whatever. And then the 3 of them was staff. And I'm sitting here thinking like, now they're probably in there killing each other or are about to kill each other. And y'all asses are out here in the parking lot for one little lady that ain't gonna do nothing, that just came down there because y'all hung the phone up on her.
That's it. We're not going to solve those problems tonight, but we're not going to let them go either.
No, so, that's why, contrary to what the Department of Corrections put out there and contrary to what this guy right here on your screen with his posse tells everyone, we know, and by looking at this page and following this page and following the Human and Civil Rights Coalition and following They Have No Voice, 100% that the stuff that they're selling is BS. And so it goes back to, we need everyone next Tuesday at 1 p.m. to come out and to help us bring attention to this nonsense and this foolery that's going on in the Department of Corrections and this do-nothing governor who has decided for the last 5 years that he's not going to do anything, not even going to acknowledge. But Tyrone Oliver was a snitch in that video because Tyrone Oliver 100% told us what the governor told him, his boss told him to do when he got in there.
What are you saying, that these prisons don't report to the Federal Bureau of Prisons? What? I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you.
Well, it wasn't my words that wasn't true. It was the commissioners of the largest law enforcement agency told everybody that wasn't true.
Oh, by the way, the largest law enforcement agency in the state, apparently their inmate lookup wasn't functioning for about a week.
Yeah, it was.
So I had some complaints that came to me yesterday. And so I reached out to the head of legal affairs there. And she told me that I should tell anyone who asked that they should empty their cache, and that they had some problems, of course, with their computers, but immediately the inmate lookup was functioning. Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, I gave them the shady bunch for a reason. So
I know.
Okay. So getting back on this, everybody, as we start to close out here, we need everybody. We need everybody that can. I know I talked to someone that called the office last week or a couple of weeks ago. She's coming all the way from Texas. I think Susan spoke with someone that's coming from Michigan.
Yes.
I think it was Michigan. We got people coming down from South Carolina. We have people coming from everywhere. And we have been working behind the scenes probably almost the last 2 months since I announced that we were going to do this. And we have just been getting stuff ready. And, now we're down to 5 days. Susan yesterday, I think she got these placards made, so everyone will have these. I think she got 100. Is that correct?
I did. I had 100 of these printed, and they actually look better than this. I just propped it up to send him a picture. I wasn't planning on it being the actual display. But yes, we got 100 of them done. And what had happened, I sent the printing company the picture of the artwork on the T-shirt, and I said that was the artwork that we wanted on the placard. And the first one that they printed for my approval was actually a picture just like that of the T-shirt. I said, no, I want the artwork only. not the picture of the T-shirt. But
Right.
we have 100 of those ready to go, and we want to use every single one of them.
That's right. And, we have the T-shirts. I went back today and looked at the T-shirt order. We actually sold about 26, 27 T-shirts, and we ordered 50 T-shirts. So we will have additional T-shirts. We'll have additional T-shirts available in all sizes. They are I'm gonna probably say it wrong. So unsexed. I think that's how you say it.
Unisex.
Unisex, yes.
Yes.
So their unisex T-shirts will have.
Unsex is something entirely different.
Yeah, so we'll have a few more of these T-shirts available for purchase. They're $12. You can purchase them there. Also, very, very important, if you have purchased T-shirts, we will have a table set up there at the rally to pick up your T-shirts. So if you can get there early, so you can get your T-shirts before the actual speaking starts. We'll have a kind of a program, what we're going to go to, or what we're going to start with leading up to the actual protest. But we want everybody to get there early and, get everything, get your shirts, get your signs, bring your own signs if you have them. I know I've read a couple comments where people have made their own signs and they're going to bring them as well. State Senator Josh McLaren will be speaking. We have the pastor that's going to come out and give the word of encouragement and do the prayer. And then we also going to have another group that's going to be speaking as well. Lending the voice for the ladies and the women that's incarcerated as well. So we need everybody. This is a big deal. We've had media reach out to us. They're going to be there. So this is a big deal. This has never been done at this size, and we're praying for a gigantic turnout. We need everybody out there. I read the comments all the time. Well, what are y'all doing? And, what are you going to do about this? And what are you going to do about it? Well, we're taking the fight directly to the doorsteps of Brian Kemp, and we're going to be heard. We got to be heard. The city of Atlanta has agreed to shut down that sidewalk right in front of the mansion. So it'll be shut down, and it's going to be ours. And we're going to get out there, and we're really going to protest. It's going to be a peaceful protest, but we're going to be loud. The sound system came in today. So this is big. It's big, and we got to get out from behind the computers and behind the phones, and we got to get out there on the front lines. And as Representative John Lewis said, get into some good trouble. So we're going to get out there and we are going to protest, and we're going to rally, and we're going to be the voices for those men and women that are behind the walls, that have no voice. So we really, really need everybody to show up and lend your voices. Susan, go ahead.
Well, on the screen, you can see where the parking is. Peachtree Presbyterian Church, the address is there. This is a large church with a very large parking lot. And if you do what I did and go, well, how am I going to get there? Is that a distance I can walk? Well, no, I can't walk that far, but we won't have to walk that far. We have a shuttle bus that's going to be there. So we're asking you, if you're in need of a shuttle bus, you need to arrive at the church by about one. We'd like the first busload to roll out about 12:15 toward the governor's mansion. So you need to be there like 12-ish, we may even put the table for the shirts there at the bus. I
Right.
mean, in our parking lots where we're staging this,
Yep.
and then move by way of the bus, by the way of the shuttle bus, to the sidewalk across the street from the governor's mansion. There is no sidewalk on the side of the street where the governor's mansion is, and it's a very busy street. Brian said we are going to have the Atlanta police are going to be there to provide us with um, some safety controls and so forth to make sure that whatever the size of our group is, that we stay on the sidewalk and that we are kept hopefully safe from the traffic. So very exciting, though. We've never done this before.
Yes, and so just to reiterate what Susan said about the bus. So I did, and I will be communicating with them leading up to next Tuesday. But everyone needs to be there. As Susan said, starting at 12 or a little bit after 12. But also the parking, the bus will make several trips back and forth to the parking lot leading up. So I don't know what time we're going to actually cut the last trip off to the rally. We haven't decided that yet. But the shuttle bus will run several times to pick everyone up from the church and bring them back, and then vice versa. After the rally is over with, you'll have transportation back to your vehicle. So the shuttle bus was definitely was something that was needed because I'd been reading everyone's comments and people had been asking Susan and messaging about it. And, we didn't answer because we really didn't know. We knew that there was no parking whatsoever around there. But we've come up with a solution. And we think that this will help everyone out. The church is like 5 minutes from the governor's mansion. So the shuttle bus will run frequently from 12:15 all the way up till a little after 1 to get everyone to and from the rally. So transportation is definitely solved. The address is on the screen on where everyone needs to be. Feel free to message and ask any questions that you have. Now, please don't ask crazy questions now, because you may not get it. May not get a response because some of them questions be out there now. I'd be like, geez,
He's not kidding.
Christ. But anyway, that's neither here or there. So, but yeah, that's the information. T-shirts. If you need T-shirts, feel free to message Susan or Human and Civil Rights, and someone to answer. They're $12. We have about 25 more, I think.
Yeah.
25, 26 more in various sizes. The shuttle will be wheelchair accessible, yes. So, we've done everything on this end. We got placards, we have T-shirts, we have the sound system. We've promoted it, we've advertised it. We've spoken to media. We've done everything. So now, it's showtime, and it's up to you guys to show up and show out, as they say. Susan, you got to close us out. Anything else?
Share, 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 and we'd like you to donate. You know what tomorrow is? It is $5 Friday. So you did it last week. Come on, let's do it again. We're not asking very much, but the shuttle bus doesn't happen by itself. And digital offering plate. I like this. He gets better every week. But we do have one piece of good news for everybody. Amanda asked earlier, what about the young man who fell out of the box truck? he did receive a medical reprieve from Georgia. The Georgia Department, the Board of Pardons and Paroles issued that, and that was about a week ago. And he went home from the hospital yesterday.
Yeah.
He is still in bed. He is nonverbal. He is blind. Um, but he has been prayed over. He's had prayers lifted for him. His name is Clarence Nash. If you'd like to continue to pray for him, he will need prayers for many months to come. But he is
Yeah.
not in Grady. He is at home.
Yes, he is. And, the medical reprieve was big. We didn't mention the medical reprieve, because his mother just needed what's the word I'm looking for, Susan? His mother just needed some privacy,
Yeah.
as she got him home, and she didn't want to get him really excited and things of that nature. So, we didn't let everyone know, but, you people were a major, uh, played a major part in getting him released. I'm gonna tell you, you guys blew those phones off the hook when that happened, and we went live that night because they wouldn't let his mother see him. You people just you responded,
Yeah.
um, and you played a major part in him receiving that medical reprieve. And now he's at home, and as Susan said, he has a major hit road ahead of him. I texted his mom today and told her, I said, he's strong. He's a strong kid. To go through what he's been through in the last month and a half, and to still be breathing and is able to be at home with his family. He's just 20 or 21 years old.
He turned 21 1 week before this accident occurred on August 15th.
Right. Yep. So he's 21. So that's why I said a kid, because he literally is just a kid. But the community, the coalition, the members of They Have No Voice played a gigantic role. And it's funny because we reached out to someone at Pardons and Parole um, about this, and I can say this now. I don't think his mom would have a problem with it, but we reached out to Pardons and Parole while he was still in the hospital, and the person that responded said that she was very aware of what had happened, and she needed to speak with his mother ASAP. And that got the wheels turning right there. And now he's home. The crazy part about it is the state that he was in while he was at the hospital. He was still chained to the bed. That was just the astonishing part of it all. But he's home now. And just continue to pray for Clarence Nash. Continue to pray for his family. And just he has a long road to recovery. But his mother is actually going to be at the rally next Tuesday. So hopefully everyone will be able to meet her and talk to her and all that stuff. But yeah, it's like what someone just said in the comments. This is what a group of people can do, and we got to continue to call them out when they're wrong, and and just continue to fight, because stuff like this happens every day. So,
well, I was so struck by the family that we all are, a family of men, and that could have been my child. It could have been your brother, your sister. It could be anyone who's behind the walls. And when the entire story comes out, and it will, this will be worse than you imagined, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So keep praying for him. Now, did I mention that we need for you to share, and share? And also remember what tomorrow is, $5 Friday.
Yep. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, guys. We will see y'all on Tuesday at the rally. Myself will be there. Susan will be there. We'll have other speakers there, and we're going to get out there. It's not going to be much talking. I can tell you that. We're going to have our speakers. They're going to get up and say what they say. Not going to be a lot of long speeches, no long-winded stuff, because we are there to make some noise. So we'll see everybody on Tuesday, and we appreciate each and every single one of you for your support, for your donations, for your kind words, for your shares, just everything that you guys do. We definitely appreciate it, and we thank you for helping us to get this out and get this information out. As you see, it is. They try to put a different image out, but we just keep it real here on Georgia Prison Watch and at the Human and Civil Rights Coalition of Georgia, and they have no voice, and we couldn't do it without you, so we appreciate each and every one of your support, and we'll see everybody Tuesday, and y'all have a good Friday, good weekend, and we'll see everybody then.
That's right. Thank you all, everybody.
All right.